Welcome back in Brazil. Wild boars are obliterating farms overnight. They've engineered a brilliant silent solution, ready to see the genius trick that's saving entire harvests. Let's dive in. Wild boars don't slowly damage crops. They overwhelm them. In just a few hours, a single herd can destroy up to $10,000 worth of crops, leaving behind flattened fields and torn soil. Imagine tending a field for 6 months only to see it reduced to chaos by sunrise. Traditional defenses like electric fences or traps were supposed to stop this, but they failed repeatedly. Wild boars push through fences, dig under barriers, and quickly adapt to anything predictable. When even electric fences can't slow them down, farmers are forced to ask a terrifying question. Is there any way left to protect crops at all? With no other options remaining, farmers began turning to an idea that seemed almost too simple to work. They started digging deep trenches around their farms. These trenches were typically 3 to 5 feet deep and more than 3 feet wide, stretching along the edges of entire fields. When wild boars reached these trenches, something unexpected happened. They couldn't jump across. And when they tried to charge through, many fell straight in and couldn't climb back out. This solution required no electricity, no poison, and no complex systems to maintain. It relied entirely on gravity terrain and the physical limits of the animals themselves. At first, the trenches looked crude, even primitive, but in reality, they were an extremely clever defensive tactic. Instead of overpowering wild boars, the trenches exploited a weakness in their biology. They are heavy low to the ground and poor climbers. The trenches didn't fight the animals head-on, they outsmarted them. Still, one question lingered. Could wild boars eventually learn to avoid these trenches, shift their routes, or move toward unprotected land? And if that happened, what would farmers do next? While undeniably effective, digging these trenches is far from cheap. Farmers must use heavy machinery, fuel, and skilled labor to carve through the land. Construction costs can reach around $6 per yard, and for farms with long perimeters, the total expense can climb into the tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Maintenance also matters. Heavy rain and soil erosion can weaken trench walls, turning them into muddy hazards that threaten both equipment and workers. Despite these challenges, the results have been impossible to ignore. In many regions, wild boar invasions dropped sharply after trenches were built. Crop losses fell, entire seasons were saved, and for the first time in years, farmers could harvest without constant fear. More and more farmers are now willing to accept the costs and risks because, for them, trenching is no longer just a strategy. It has become the only realistic way to protect the survival of their crops. Wild boars aren't the only animals causing destruction. Other threats include Javan porcos, hybrids of domestic and wild pigs that are even stronger and more aggressive. As well as peccaries, large South American mammals that move in herds and can strip fields bare once they find food. Together, these animals have turned farming into a constant battle. In the United States and Australia, very different solutions have been tried. In the U.S., helicopters are used for aerial hunting. In Australia, traps and trained dogs are common tools. While these methods can be effective, they are expensive, dangerous, and often harmful to ecosystems. That's why Brazil's trench system stands out. It doesn't rely on constant force or high-tech weapons. It relies on understanding animal behavior and using the landscape itself as a defense. The fight against wild boars isn't limited to Brazil, it's global. In Canada, farmers face similar invasions, relying on traps and organized hunts to control populations. Yet hunting alone is not a long-term solution and can carry serious ecological consequences. The fight against wild boars in Brazil isn't over yet, but these smart trench systems are truly a game changer. What do you think of this strategy, and is it the best solution? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more interesting stories in the next video.
These approaches have been great at stopping the spread of some invasive species. Got any ideas for even better solutions? Drop your thoughts in the comments so we can all dive into it together. Thanks for sticking around and watching the whole video. If you liked it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And hey, be sure to tell your friends about us too so they can check it out. Bye and see you in the next video.